Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's me, the Game Dude. I'm back again with the part two of my DVD collection. Um, yeah, let's jump right into it. So we'll start from the back and everything. And this is where my superhero movies are. I don't have a lot because I wasn't really into it. Well, I did watch the whole MCU phase, but after Endgame, kind of stopped more or less watching it. But the movies I have aren't from the Marvel Studios. They're all from separate studios because I never thought of getting into the disc on DVD or anything, but I was gonna get the Spider-Man one, but I really more into other ones really. But I'll start with the first one, but of course with the Sam Raimi original 2002 Spider-Man. As you can see, it's a deluxe edition on DVD. I actually found this at a bookstore, no joke, for $2. Yep, fully clean and everything, wasn't even open. All of it for $2. Has a lot of stuff and everything. Has the exclusive he beat Spider-Man 2 because at the time this was being released, which was 2003 or 4, Spider-Man 2 is about to come out, the greatest sequel ever, especially superhero sequel, and a lot of other stuff. It had the PC Activision game, the one everybody's famous for, on it right here. All the other stuff, yeah, pretty much stuff from the Spider-Man 2 thing. I can see with the DVD it comes with, it's all new special features. That's the thing that's new with the deluxe edition. As you can see, it has old code from 2002. Like I said, it was untouched at the time, which is very rare to see something like this. Especially saying having a free admission to Spider-Man 2, which shows you how old this is and everything. Yeah, it's like, especially when it has promo for camera roll of film. It's their third deluxe from Columbia and everything. Like I said, the marketing they have for the second one was wild and everything, which makes sense because even though some people say X-Men was great, it paved the way, but Spider-Man 2002 Spider-Man paved it in gold in some way more than another, especially for the future. But it's done right and everything, it would be very good. And of course, here's the famous sequel, Spider-Man 2. I have the widescreen special edition. A lot of people wonder why I don't have the Blu Rays because I never found a reason to get the Blu Rays really, is because like I said, I never found a reason to receive them. They have the same bonus features. I think some of them have some taken out, which is not fair. So I decided to keep the sequel and everything. Pretty good. It's 2 disc feature. It's in widescreen. Just to make sure it says widescreen on top, because some people get fooled by full screen and widescreen. This is before the movies became exclusively widescreen, and the reason why back then people had CTRs for monitors for TVs and everything. And if you know what a CTR is, that shows you how old I am and everything. And yeah, that explains But now mostly they all come in widescreen only because nobody has a CRT, not even all that stuff. Here we have a 3 disc widescreen deluxe edition. Even though it says deluxe edition, it's not the same as deluxe edition from the first one, but it has some cool featurettes I found. Some of it being on a set, some contest webisodes. Really, not that much. Really, like I said, not that much of a difference between the first one and, well, there is a difference, but still has a pamphlet, production notes and everything. They're all in the disc and everything. Pretty good. Some people say they don't like the third one, which they have reasons for, which is understandable. Especially when there's supposed to be 2 more that was supposed to release, or 4 if you want to count Raimi only directing 4, but still. But I find it fine and everything. I got things done and everything. The story got things done. Yeah, sure. There was too many villains in the kitchen, and Kristen Bell, I think that's her name is. Yeah, Kristen Dunst. Yeah, Kristen Dunst. She's really done. Sony really did her done dirty. Yeah, they did her dirty for making her another damsel in the game, even though she was promised by Sam Raimi not to be. And yeah, look what happened in the ending. Very sad. Of course, here's another movie from 2003. It's kind of surprising for some people, which is Ang Lee's Hulk and everything. And despite what people say, it's really not that bad. Yeah, sure, there are some weird moments in it, especially coming with the weird camera shots that don't go anywhere. But in reality, had this been perfected more and had more research done, we could have had a precursor to the Dark Knight / Batman Begin movies from Christopher Nolan, because this is actually close. Let's just say that. I'll just say that right now. pretty close. Of course, then we have DC now on the other side, which is DC, which I only have one of them. Well, two actually. Well, actually one and a half. And the first one being Constantine with Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves says he would be willing to do the sequel, and guess what? I would see that first day and everything with the same director and everything. Yeah, I would see that first day, especially if they said it'd be leaning more towards horror, which I would definitely see. Would love to see all of it. Especially love to see all of it. But yeah, what I think of the movie is fine for what it is and everything. As for how it is for the comic book, well, I don't really rather read the comic book. Same thing for the other ones too. But you know, it's fine for what it is. Yeah, sure, I only know that in the comics he was supposed to be British and everything. But aside from that, you know, it's fine for what it is. I like it. And of course, we have the infamous Brightburn. There's not much to say about this because, you know, everybody has already made videos of what this movie could have been had it been done right, but it wasn't. I don't know. I think the screenwriters should have had more time to make it. We couldn't have a good horror, super horror thing they were trying to do. It would have been great, but you know, I have it because you know it was like the first of its kind, really. Well, one of the first of the kind. It's not really the first, but still. But you know, could have been done better. And speaking of which, what could have been done better? We have Hancock, the 2008 Hancock. It definitely could have been done better had there been more sequels and had the screenwriters and even Sony knowing what they could have done with this film had they actually had a direction. As you can see, I have the unrated special edition. Yeah, despite what people think, it's not really supposed to be PG-13. In fact, it's supposed to be. This rating is supposed to be unrated. It doesn't really have that much difference from the PG-13. Only more violence and everything, a bit more swearing. But aside from that, that's really it, actually. But yeah, this could have been like Brightburn. It could have been done better. But unlike Brightburn, this actually had a good idea going. But the problem is, the screenwriters and neither did the studio know what they were doing with this film. Not even the director. So they were trying for what they were. So yeah, it kind of stinks. And as you can see, here's the other half of the DC, even though it's not technically DC, but it's Warner Brothers, and that is, of course, 300. The other Zack Snyder movie came after Dawn of the Dead. I actually like this film and everything. It's like I said, it's like I mentioned in the other previous video. This proves that Zack Snyder can make films and everything. He just has to have a good screenwriter behind him and everything. I mean, and this film proves it because Frank Miller was, of course, doing the screenplay along with. I mean, Zack Snyder was doing it along with two other people, so that proves that he could do a good movie. He just has to have the screenwriters with them behind him and everything, and a good source material. And this proves it because, you know, Frank Miller made the comic, which is legendary. And this movie is just as legendary. I can't say the same for the sequel, more or less, but, you know, this film is good. It's just you get the complete experience because you get more bonus features that way. Along with the pamphlet book and everything, like a lot of stuff you see right here. Hard to believe this film was made within a few days, actually. You never tell. Yeah, sure, it's heavily CG, but you can never tell. But hey, it was a good film. Made around the same time when Sin City was just still hot, so it made 2 years after that. So you understand why Warner Bros. Wanted to jump in on that Frank Miller cash, I guess you could say. Next, we have some comedy movies. These are more parody than they are comedies. But, you know, one of them being, of course, from Zucker, Abrams, Zuckrams. However, I'm gonna do the ones that aren't. So, first one I'm doing that isn't them is, of course, in fact, one of them is Harold Ramis, and is, of course, National Lampoon's Vacation, the best vacation movie out of the bunch next to Christmas, like the best one ever. It's from the 30th anniversary edition, made in 2013. Yes, based on the like I said, 30th anniversary. For Harold Ramis' first movie, it's actually the best and everything. I find it hard to believe. I forget that Egon from Ghostbusters was directing movies, which is insane to me. But you know how it is. It's like amazing. And here's his other one that is also famous. That's Groundhog Day with Bill Murray. And yeah, it's pretty much just as good and everything, very better. It's hard to believe that Bill Murray and Harold Ramis had a falling out and everything, alongside with him and Chevy Chase because egos and everything coming from both sides and everything. But here's some two movies made by the famous duo. What were they called again? Called. The Farley Brothers. Yes, the Farley Brothers. Sorry about that. And then, of course, being Dumb and Dumber and everything. I have the unrated edition from the first movie. I suggest you get this one because it's unrated. It's just really 6 minutes more of a movie that hasn't been seen. Mainly have to do with the toilet scene. If you know it, then you know. And aside from that, really not that much difference. But 6 minutes, you can't get enough of that. But of course, I recommend you get this one because it has special features and everything. I don't think the DVDs have. Of course, I could be wrong. Then there's a sequel and everything. Yeah, sir. Compared to the original, the sequel is not really that good and everything. But to see Jeff Daniels and Jim Carrey back, it's actually funny. Not that bad and everything. Of course, I could eventually get the Blu Ray because it has more exclusives than the other one. Not that much of exclusive I can see right here, but something's better than nothing. The rest one we have is made by the famous Zucker, Abraham Zuckers. But first we have to make a detour first to the one made by Mel Brooks from his first show. But this is the movie spinoff, which gets smart. As you can see, it's kind of holographic like. But this is the 2008 movie of that TV show. I don't have the TV show in general because it was like expensive right now and everything. And I really more want to see the movie. As you can see, I haven't opened it yet. I don't know why I haven't gotten around to it, but I've seen the movie before on the Max and everything, and also on TV before. Uncensored that is, in case you want to know. It's not one of those TVs with the bleeps and everything. But I've seen it. I have a barrel of laughs. It's a good thing to see and everything. I think you should see it. It should have been on a sequel, but sadly time went by, and sadly some actors passed away. One of them being I forget the one who played the boss, that guy, by sadly he passed away and everything. Now it can't be done. It could have been done, but Alan Arkin, that's the actor's name, who plays the chief. And sadly he passed away. I mean, he rest in peace, but it's just like sad because we could have had another sequel with these people, but I don't know what happened. I honestly don't know what happened. I think it's because of financial reasons. I could be wrong. Could be because of other reasons too. Of course, on to Zucker, Abraham Zuckers. We have the first one, the first movie, which is, of course, Airplane. And as you can see, I bought it for $1, or actually, no, $3. Very cheap, and it's the Blu Ray one. And it's the Don't Call Me Shirley edition, that funny scene and everything. Yeah, Zucker, Abraham Zuckers, they're the one comedy troupe. Especially with some of their films, they never get old. This is one of them. And for the first film ever, you're gonna take a risk and everything. Even though it's rated PG, just remember, even though it's rated PG, that doesn't mean there's some very R-rated stuff in there. Because trust me, there isn't. And as for the one made by Jim Abrams, who went solo for around the 90s, one of them being the two Hot Shots movies. One, of course, that you can see being a parody of Top Gun. The other one, obviously, being parody of Rambo. As you can see, it's a double featurette because I couldn't find the separate movies with separate DVDs, and if I did, it didn't have a lot of bonus features at all. As you can see, it has Charlie Sheen in his glory when he was funny before he became who he is now. Just like, not good. But I like those films, all of them. The only ones I didn't like from Zucker, Abraham Zuckers were the ones that either the ones they didn't make or the ones where, ones that David Zucker kept doing, even though he wasn't doing real comedy anymore, which is like, Scary Movie 3 and 4 and everything, which were not good. But anyway, here's the ones that they eventually made, which is, of course, The Naked Gun, also by Paramount too, all having ladies, based on, and people forget this is actually based on the movies, based on a TV show called Police Squad. Even the first one, despite being called Naked Gun, its title was also called From the Files of Police Squad, which was the name of the TV show they had short running, but sadly it never lasted past the season. Because of the fact that, I don't know, maybe because their humor was too advanced for a TV show age, which you think is ridiculous now, but you know, back then in the 70s or 80s when it was being made, it kind of was being, you know, kind of seen as ridiculous and everything. So you know, especially for a TV budget. So you know, but it got turned into movies, and now everybody recognizes it by the movies now, which is a good thing. And of course, we have the famous Pink Panther collection. More importantly, the Blake Edwards version, because the one is made by Blake, but not made by Blake Edwards, are really hit or miss with some people. And of course, has great artwork and everything. Looks like it came out of the '60s. Came things of other times. I can see it has films and everything a lot. It has mostly the ones he made, which was the first one, A Shot in the Dark, Strikes Again, Revenge of the Pink Panther, and Trial of the Pink Panther. All of which are, you know, made by Blake Edwards. Very great and everything. All of them are considered classics and everything. As for the other ones, I can't really attest to that because, you know, I haven't seen them yet. As you can see, the kind of cover kind of feels soft and everything. Has a soft edge if you can look at it. It looks kind of cool that way. As you can tell, it also has Peter Sellers too. As from Strange Glove, as you saw a video back, like I said, he was also known for doing this, and he's been known for doing good comedies, which is why he got casted in Strange Glove in the first place. Due to the fact of him being able to appear in many, disappear in many characters, especially in comedy, as you can see by the many get-ups he wears. Very funny, very charged, and you can see even very racially humorous in some ways, back when they got away with it. But yeah, that's a pretty good collection. I've only seen the first one so far, but I've heard they're funny and everything. But I've seen the first one is very funny. It's more high intelligence than you know those dumb comedies that were made, like from Scary Movie and everything. But you know, that's my opinion. Everybody has their own taste. And okay, here we have is another row of children's movies. Probably get to a lot of them because most of them are not that. But this one, of course, is Thura, the unannounced sequel to Jumanji, even though the director Jon Favreau doesn't consider it a sequel because he never saw the movie. Or, wait, actually, no, he did, but he said he didn't like it and everything. But I like both of them. I especially like Zathura more. Everything is, better, in my opinion. A lot of people tend to forget there was a video game and everything on it, but, you know, it was kind of good and everything. Yeah, very, very good. As a young Kristen Stewart, and of course, Josh Hutcherson, you know, when he was a kid, Dak Shepard and all that stuff. Even Tim Robbins was on the poster, but you know, it was a good movie. I liked it more than Jumanji. And here's the Flintstones, 1994 one, but it's John Goodman, Rick Moranis, Elizabeth Perkins, Rosie O'Donnell, all that stuff. Along with the famous actor who was in the TV show Harvey Korman. Yeah, what a nice cameo from him. But yeah, this movie, even though some people said they don't like it, especially a certain nostalgia critic doesn't like it, there's some people like me who like it because it follows because the director Brian Levin, he really knew his Flintstones things, and really you can tell this was made by a true fan who made it. And it's pretty good. Of course, we have the Pink Panther 2. The reason why I don't have the first one because it was admittedly not that funny. The second one is not that much funny, but it's a bit more funnier than the first one, which is not a given, but it's still something. Had Steve Martin and everything. And of course, this one is a special edition because it's a 2-disc set because it has the famous Pink Panther cartoons. As you can see right here, it has all the cartoons. All 27 of them. Yeah, hard to believe there's only 27. Like Mr. Bean, I used to think there was more of them, but it turns out there was only 27 cartoons of the Pink Panther. I don't know who made the cartoons. I know it wasn't Warner Brothers or anything, but I think it was somebody. Maybe in MGM, maybe United Artists. I could be wrong. And here we have the movie that launched Paul Reubens and Tim Burton's career. That is, of course, Peewees Big Adventure. I can't stress how this is a good film and everything. This is a pretty good film and everything. Paul Reubens does his best and everything. May he rest in peace and everything. But Tim Burton is a good director. You can definitely see a zaniness in this film, especially in this film, which is surprising and everything. And I think it was this film that helped him get selected for that Batman movie and everything, which I wish I had on me, but I don't have it yet because I like that movie too, from DC and everything. But for his first movie, man, this is pretty good and everything. I wish I had the Peewees TV series, which I did have, but actually I didn't have it. I rented it from my local library, and but I never bought the TV series, which is kind of a shame. But I probably will in the future. Of course, speaking of Tim Burton, we have his movie that, even though some people say is a remake, even though it's not technically a remake, it's closer. It's a better adaptation of the book, and that is, of course, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. As you can see, there's the 2-disc deluxe edition because this one has bonus features, and you can tell by the lights and everything, it's kind of colorful, chromodomic, especially when you point it at a light bulb, which is kind of cute, cool, and everything. It's kind of cute, not cute, cool. It's cool. As you can tell, this was made back in 2006 or 2005, I think, the DVD, because it has a lot of trading cards inside, especially golden ticket giveaway. Hold on, guys, let me try to open it first. Yeah, even the giveaway still in here, along with the trading cards. Trading cards are still in here, showing size of the movie. It's a limited edition. I think these things are worth something, probably. What we have is just the golden ticket for the grand prize and everything. You can tell they made it look like an actual candy bar. It's funny. Of course, no reason to open it because, like I said, because the golden thing was like 20 years ago. No point of opening up now and trying to do it. I think it's 20 years old right now. Amazing. The reason why I don't have the Blu Ray of this because I don't think it has the same bonus features as the other ones, as the Blu Ray. But I like to keep it because, like I said, it has the trading cards and the golden ticket, which are limited. So I'm keeping this one for collecting sakes and also because I love the movie. But of course, I do have the original Willy Wonka and everything. What do I think of it? Well, I don't like it as much as Charlie and everything. If I move past the musical numbers and everything, do I consider it good on its own? On its own, yeah, it's pretty good and everything. But that's only because it has that weird what's it called? A humor made by the comedian dude. I forget. The one who made the Nutty Professor, not the remake, the other one. Has a humor, has a style and everything. But at the same time, I never see any movies. Maybe that's why I had some kind of fondness for it, especially for its comedy. So, maybe that's why. But I prefer Charlie more than Willie. And of course, here's Mr. Bean's movie. Not the first movie, his second movie that was technically made after the first movie. I did rent the first movie and everything, and let's just say I like Mr. Bean's Holiday more than the first movie because of the fact that, well, I don't know, maybe because this movie felt more like what Mr. Bean would do if he was in a movie. Everything is funny and everything, and even though it's rated G, it has some good humor that I think adults will find very funny and everything. It's pretty good. But I've seen Rowan Atkinson's other movies like Johnny English, the British version of James Bond, which is he's British, but even though I've seen that too, I don't have the DVD, so I've only seen the first movie. I haven't seen the new one. I don't think it's that good. Yeah, I like it. The rest here are just Christmas movies and everything I collected. Here's A Wonderful Life. I found this at a bookstore, very cheap, and of course you can see it's colorized. And it's black and white. So as you can see, it can be colorized. It's pretty good. It only has one bonus feature though, but but it has 2 discs because one's, like I said, one's black and white and one's colorized. Pretty good Christmas movie. Even if you aren't, like I said, believe and have a religious belief or not, people still like this anyway and everything. So it's pretty good. Has Jimmy Stewart and everything pretty good in his role. I have the Santa Claus movie collection. I've only seen the first 2 so far. I never saw the third one. I wanted to, but then the Christmas season ended, and then there was no reason really to watch it anymore. I got caught up with everything else I was going on. But aside from that, the first 2 movies are pretty good and everything. I sometimes tend to forget that Hollywood Pictures made the first 2, and Disney itself made the third one for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I think the production companies went through or something like that. Because I never heard from them anymore. But aside from that, I love the movies. I love the first two. I haven't seen the third one that much, so I'll probably give you your opinion on that soon. Here we have the Polar Express. It's kind of a mixed bag for me. I kind of like, because the CG, well, it's not really Uncanny Valley-ish, but Robert Zemeckis had a thing going with his CGI rendering kind of stuff and everything. But for what I like about it, it's good. I know it's just it's fine. This movie actually has Josh Hutcherson in his first role before it's the third one and everything made, but which is the third was made a year after Polar Express, which is kind of amazing when you think about it. But for what it is, it's fine. The only thing I wish they wouldn't have that damn jingle playing in my head in every other scene. Not the Polar Express song. I'm talking about the one they always play in the beginning of the movie. Every time when we see a shot of the train, like keep playing that damn thing from the soundtrack. It keeps repeating over and over, which is like annoying. I mean seriously. But here we have one from Robert Zemeckis, which I actually like, and it's a pretty good adaptation, kind of like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It's a pretty good adaptation. That of course being A Christmas Carol. This one was being made by Disney themselves. Sadly, this was Zemeckis' last movie from his CGI studio and everything before Mars and his mom came in and really plummeted. Really, it plummeted the most actually. Mars and his mom, that is, not this one. But I like this one because it's a better adaptation of the books out of all the many adaptations, even the George C. Scott version. It's pretty good. Jim Carrey does great as Scrooge. He does the Ghost of Christmas Past, Present. As for Future, I don't know who does Future, but it could be Jim Carrey for all I know. But they did a great job in making the Ghost of Christmas Future his shadow, which is pretty inventive and everything. Making it mostly 2D, except when his hand points at a finger and everything becomes 3D and everything, which is pretty cool. But aside from that weird running scene he does with the chariot and everything, which you can tell was done for padding. Aside from that, this thing was pretty good. It's a must-see, especially if you're looking for a true adaptation from the book and everything. And here we have, speaking of Jim Carrey, we have How the Grinch Stole Christmas. As you can see, it's green and everything. Pretty good green coloring. It's not that different from the DVD version at all, other than it's been put in 3D. It's been put in Blu Ray, really. And it has this green color tinting, which I think is cool because the Grinch is green, which is cool and everything. As for what I think of the movie, well, it's a mixed bag. It's not Cat in the Hat bag. It's not Cat in the Hat bag, but it's mostly a mixed bag. You can totally tell that Ron Howard and Jim Carrey wanted to make a children's-friendly movie, but Universal being Universal wanted to make it more adult for some reason, which is weird. But yeah, it's weird. But I have the other one from the cartoon made by the famous Looney Tune artist. What's his name? Chuck Jones. And everything's pretty good. This one was owned by Warner Brothers. Pretty good adaptation for the book, especially because it's just as short as the book, and it comes animated by, narrated by Boris Karloff himself, i.e., Dracula himself. Pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. He does great as the Grinch and as a narrator and everything. But yeah, you should definitely buy 2 of these as a must buy, especially if you like seeing The Witch and everything. So, pretty good. And here I have the first 2 Home Alone movies. As you can see, this one's called the Family Fun Edition because it actually has special features and everything. This one is just a generic DVD that I bought from No Joke from Main Event. Anybody who knows Main Event, knows what that place is, and I got it from one of those DVD jackpot things. And one of them was, of course, this movie, which was in the stack of, from the claw machine or something like that. I grabbed. I didn't mean to grab it, but it was better than nothing, and and in a way, it was kind of a cheap alternative to getting it at a store, admittedly. I think because it was $2 admission. Sorry about that. I had to put the stack back in. Okay. Up next is like another stack from the middle. We're almost there, almost done, thankfully. Well, thankfully for me, because it's becoming a drag to having to take these back in and put them back out. Yeah. And and these ones are mostly just comedy / sci-fi and everything. Let's start with the bottom with this delightful comedy, which is "Thank You for Smoking." No joke, you guys should really get this movie because, as Doug Walker put it in his video, it's a pretty good movie and everything. You should really see it. You won't be you won't be gypped or anything, or you won't be like you'll like it. You'll find it funny. You'll like it. Yeah, you'll pretty much like it. And actually, believe it or not, you can see. So I'm gonna show you. I was gonna show you later in another video, but I might as well show you now. As you can see, I have the book. Yeah, a lot of people tend to forget that this was actually come from a book from the same name, made by Christopher Buckley. And I'm not saying that because they deviated a lot. Really, in fact, they really put a lot more. And the things they did deviate from, they just had to change because of the time period. Because the book takes place in 1990s, well, this takes place in 2005, 2006, pretty much. Just a 10-year time difference. But I recommend you getting both the book and the movie for companion pieces, especially if you want to compare the two from the book and the movie. I really think that there should be Dominic Noble should really make a movie, really make a video on this. Somebody should link this thing out to him and show him this, see what's the difference and everything. But yeah, both the book and the movie are pretty good. And here we have it from the team of South Park, and that is of course Team America from Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Pretty good movie. I wish there was more sequels, especially with the way how it is now and everything. That's all I'm going to get political out of this. But aside from that, they really should have made more and everything. They still could. But after hearing the many trials and tribulations they went through, especially with how many, not because of how painstakingly it was for the puppets and everything and the sets and everything. Yeah, it was kind of hard. It was kind of hard in the behind the scenes. It was kind of hard for Trey and everything because he had to pretty much do it, not do it all, but it was pretty much a pain to do it all, especially when it's puppets and everything, not 2D characters and everything. But from what it's worth seeing, especially if you get the uncensored, unrated edition. And what makes it different from the theatrical version is that the famous love scene from these two characters. I just say it goes on for a bit more, and it's kind of funny, or you'll be grossed out either way if you see it. Here we have a great movie from the Coen brothers. That is, of course, The Big Lebowski, movie made from 1998 and everything. It takes place in 96. Well, 92 actually, but I just want to mention that out there. It's also another booklet. It's a limited edition, but you can find these mostly everywhere nowadays. Despite it being limited, that's what it says. It's a booklet and everything. It's pretty good. Has bonus features and everything. But mostly it's no different from the collector's edition, the DVD collector's edition, only these exclusive right here and the fact that it's a booklet and everything. But it's a pretty good movie. Whether or not you like it or you find it annoying, that's up to you. Here we have another comedy, which is from Ben Stiller, which is, of course, Tropic Thunder, one of his good movies he's ever made. Especially the good movie about Hollywood and the system. And it still holds up, especially for a movie made in 2008. And, it's pretty good. I recommend you watch it, and I recommend you get the director's cut, which is on DVD too, but be warned, it's on two discs instead of one Blu Ray disc, which the 2 discs only has all these bonus features on the second disc. So in reality, just get the Blu Ray one especially if you have a Blu Ray player. Here we have one by Uwe Boll, my only Uwe Boll movie, which is, of course, the famous Postal movie. An actually very good video game movie. Some people say Sonic the Hedgehog was a good video game adaptation. Well, this movie proves them wrong because this was technically the first in 2007. Made in 2007. It's in Blu Ray. It's a pretty good disc, and as you see, it comes with a free PC game of Postal 2, as you see right there. This one, of course, being from Postal 2 Share the Pain edition, which I recommend this version. Although be warned, if you want to play it, you have to play it with a computer, and it's pretty good. A modern computer, especially one with a disk drive in it. Like my computer, for instance, my laptop, for instance, is a Windows 10, and it works perfectly fine. It runs really well, and it's not a gaming computer. You can work on every average computer. Just make sure it's a modern one, or else you're going to have to deal with these specs and everything they put in right in the end. Of course, most of us don't have an XP nowadays, but you know how it is. All I know is just get him, play it on a modern computer, and make sure it has a hard drive. And here we have another one with a comedy movie that's also based on George Romero movies, Shaun of the Dead, part of the Cornetto trilogy, which is Red. It's a pretty good movie and everything, and it really shows. Most people tend to forget this is actually the best deconstruction movie about the Romero zombies and everything, especially how they work. Because even they acknowledge how slow they are, how dumb-witted they are, especially in the ending. Spoilers. It shows the military finally taking care of the situation, which is something that the Romero movies never did. Which is kind of ironic because with the way how slow these things are, the military could easily overrun them if they wanted to. Yeah, which is funny. I find funny and everything. But aside from that, pretty good movie and everything. Pretty funny. You'll like it. Here's another one from the director. Um, what was the director's name? Edgar Wright. This is, of course, being Scott Pilgrim versus the World. The first adaptation before the anime one came in. And whether you're not... Regardless of what your opinions on the anime one, I'm pretty sure you always like the movie. This one is the Level Up Collector's Edition. It has more exclusives and everything. A lot of other stuff. Yeah, especially like a lot of other stuff. Yeah, I liked it. Even when I never read the comic book ever. Like, ever at all. It's because of... At least because it's long running, but also because I don't have the time to read it. But from what I've seen from this movie, it's pretty good. You'll like it, especially with his broad humor. And whether or not you like Michael Cera as a character, you probably like him as Scott Pilgrim because it's pretty much just him. Well, not really him, but the many virgin characters he plays, like in Superbad and everything. Pretty good movie. I recommend a watch. Here we have the third one in the Cornetto trilogy. That is, of course, The World's End. I did have a copy of Hot Fuzz, but I ended up selling it because the fact that after learning about the great spoiler that you see in the ending, I'm not going to spoil it here because I might as well let you see it. After knowing about the spoiler, after watching the movie end, there was really no reason watching the movie ever again because after you get spoiled with that great big plot twist they have, I found no reason to watch it really. But it was part of the blue part of the Cornetto trilogy. This one's also the green part, even though it looks blue and everything else is blue. Keep in mind it's green. And it's all about aliens and everything. Pretty good adult comedy you'll like. Yeah, you're pretty much gonna like it and everything, especially for a third part of the Cornetto trilogy. You wish they would make more and everything. They probably will be sooner or later in the future, but that's up to them. Here we have a Zombieland, the other great zombie thing. Pretty good, made by the people, made by Ruben Fleischer. If you don't know who that is, it's the same Ruben Fleischer who made that Venom film, and along with some other films I think he's famous for, but I forgot the name of. His first ever movie and everything is pretty good, funny. And this was during the zombie craze that was happening back in the early 2000s. It was kind of getting revived by Shaun of the Dead, but Shaun of the Dead was kind of in 2004. But in 2009 was a great time to do it because that's when, the zombie craze was coming back, and that's when George Romero ironically came back. Well, he's already been back. He already was back a year after, but around 2009 was when the hype got bigger and bigger. And of course, speaking of George Romero, here we have the first remake of his movies, which of course is Dawn of the Dead, 2004 one made by Zack Snyder himself. And like I said back then, this movie is great and proves that he can make movies. Just that this one was made by the screenplay was by James Gunn for this one, and you can really tell. And you'll like it. Yeah, sure. There are some frustrating plot points that don't make sense, especially having to deal with the especially the reason why they get out of the mall, which to me doesn't make sense either. But aside from that, you'll like it. You probably will like it, and if you don't, then it's worth a watch, especially on streaming somewhere if you can find it anywhere on streaming. But as you can see, it's the unrated director's cut. Even for his first film, he was already having his film cut by the studio, which is weird. And of course, here going to science fiction, we now have the famous Terminator duology. Despite the recent news that James Cameron might be coming back this time legitimately to direct Terminator, I honestly don't hold out that much faith in the movies because of the fact that, After the first two, I think that would be it. Probably, I mean, literally, I would actually just stuck with the first two movies, and that's it. Honestly, if Terminator Salvation connected more with the first two movies than with the third one, it probably would have been more liked, and it probably would have been better if it was more well written. But that's why we have the video game Terminator Resistance, which I don't have, but I wish I did have, which is a great video game that connects these two movies and everything. So in case you didn't like Salvation, play that game. But here's the first one. It's red for some reason because I think it has something to do with his eyes and everything. It has a pretty good imagery right here showing his metal metallic under all that skin. Pretty good. Especially because it shows pictures and everything and a featurette. Pretty cool. When I saw the redness, I thought this was an HD DVD, but thankfully it wasn't. It was Blu Ray. Yeah, a lot of people should see the first movie more than the second one. But here's the second one. It's the ultimate DVD collection. As you can see, it has more special features than any DVD could. That's why I kind of like this DVD more than the Blu-rays, because the Blu-rays keep putting stuff in, but then they keep taking stuff out. So I recommend getting this instead. Has a cover and everything, great sleek silver cover, along with this with a close-up shot of Arnold's face with his red eye. Has showing the same stuff. Judgment Day. As you can see, it's a double-sided disc with the other side showing all that. Pretty good with a pamphlet and everything. Pretty good cover. I like the slip cover more. Everything pretty good. I recommend getting this DVD and everything, especially if you want to see the Terminator 2. Especially when this one has the this one's technically the special edition cut, which adds more stuff to the film than the theatrical one did, which helps to the movie's credibility and everything. Hold on while I move some more stuff. Okay, I have more thriller-like stuff, and these next ones are going to be mostly Shyamalan movies. Might as well get them out of the way because there are only 4 of them. And as of course, as you can see, Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Split, and of course the sequel that brings these two movies together, which is the Unbreakable universe. But let's talk about Sixth Sense first. His first movie, as you can see, is the Vista series, because back then Disney actually owns these, believe it or not. They actually own the first one, which is crazy. As you can see, but it's the Vista series, has a lot of good featurettes, has a good art design right here on the covers, looks pretty cool. As you can see, fine with pictures and everything and booklets. And let's see. Yeah, like a per pamphlet run. One which shows, this is a storyboard sequence, which probably won't open, but it's cool. It's cool. But mostly this is good because it comes with 2 discs, because this one actually has the bonus features, whereas the regular DVD versions don't have it and everything, like at all. But I think the Blu-ray ones have it, if there is any Blu-rays. I haven't seen any Blu-rays. As far as I know, there could be. Let me put it back in. Hold on. Yeah, pretty cool. And here we have the Vista series of Unbreakable. I mean, this movie came out at the right place at the right time in the year 2000, when superhero movies were finally becoming a thing, before X-Men and everything. And the fact this came out before that is actually shows the time and everything. With Bruce Willis, Sam Jackson, shows Glass and everything. Has them right here, beautiful. Has all these texts from the script and everything. Cool, and as you can see, it has a great pictures from Alex Ross, a very underrated comic book artist. You can see he looks very cool. Yeah, very sleek in build. You can actually see Alex Ross's art in the opening of Spider-Man 2. When you see animated versions of Peter and everything, Spider-Man, you can see Alex Ross's pictures and everything from that film, because at the time he was the go-to artist of back in the 2000s, because he used to draw it so really well. Here's Split and everything. And I kind of already spoiled it for you by saying it's technically a sequel to Unbreakable, because in the ending it was supposed to show the twist, which was that This is part of the Unbreakable universe. But here we have the sequel and everything you see. It is also drawn by Alex Ross. Again, great artist. This was released back in 2019. I mean, man, you can really feel it and everything. It's just that, it's surprising back then that, this movie wasn't great reviews so good, but then again, it wasn't that good, especially with some few things here and there. But it's surprising that this movie made a lot of money back in 2019, because anybody who was around 2019 knows the fact that, which is everybody, knows the fact that not a lot of movies came out during 2019. It was like some kind of drought happened, which is weird. But aside from that, it was the only movie that made money, actually. And here we have is the 3 Ghostbusters movies, 1 and 2. Here's Afterlife. 1 and 2 is, of course, another booklet. It's the Blu Ray version of the first 2 movies. It's remastered and everything, has all the bonus features and everything like the DVD has, but they're all new, really. And everything. This was made 2014. This is during the anniversary of the first one, back in '84. This is our 30th anniversary, actually, and it looks pretty cool. I like both of the movies. I like the first one even more. I love Harold Ramis, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and even Rick Moranis, Sigourney Weaver. I even love the one who plays him. I forgot his name. Sorry about that. Forgot his name. Yeah, Ernie Hudson. Yes, Ernie Hudson. Sorry. Loved Ernie Hudson too, even though he wasn't in it that much. But I liked him. Here we have the true sequel to Ghostbusters. I never saw the new one yet, Frozen Empire. I don't know if it's good or not. I haven't seen it yet. But I did see Afterlife, and man, I liked every bit of it with this new movie. And everything in it. Yeah, actually, some people say it's almost like a remake of the first one, but at the same time, it's still being new, introduced new characters, end up liking them in a situation. It's a pretty good movie. Okay, there's that out of the way. Of course. Here we have a new one. Here we have another one. Kids movies from mostly Disney and everything. Here's the Disney ones first, except for one on the top. Of course, here's the first one from Roger Rabbit. Obviously, the best one, especially the one made by Buena Vista. And the best movie made by Zemeckis. Spielberg has both the Disney products and, of course, the Warner Brothers in it. First time. It's too bad they never made a sequel though. Have Holes, arguably one of the best book adaptations from the book and the movie. Has a young, of course, Shia LaBeouf and everything, but it has mostly an all-star cast, with Sigourney Weaver, Jon Voight, and everything. It's pretty good. Here we have a Goofy movie, the most dated classic ever made. Why did I say dated? Because if you ever see the movie, it has a lot of '90s stuff that you would only get if you've been through the '90s, but it's a pretty good film overall. Here we have Emperor's New Groove. As you can see, it's the Ultimate Groove Edition. It's 2-disc collector. What makes it like that is because, it has the same 2-disc design like Terminator 2, but has more bonus features and everything, especially from the second disc. It's weird how this film got through many history with this film, especially during when it was first being called Kingdom of the Sun, which is interesting. Sorry. But from what the product we got, pretty good. Here we have an anime movie back in 2001, Osmosis Jones. Word to the Rise. I think you should just buy it digitally or wait for it until it gets on streaming on Max and everything, because this movie was so expensive for a DVD this old. $60, and I'm not kidding, $60 for this DVD. Just because they stopped making more. Now they're just releasing it like that, which is funny. It's not worth that price, especially for a film that's iffy at best. And here we have a Disney anime classic that's my favorite, and of course being Aladdin. I love Robin Williams in it. I love every character, his designs in it. Love the humor, even without Robin, and everything's funny. Loved every single bit of it. Here we have robots from Blue Sky Studios before they're bought up by Disney and everything. Pretty good. Also has Robin Williams as the red one you see right there. The red robot, I forget his name, Fender. Pretty good in it. Pretty good movie. Not much people talk about it, which is weird. And here we have One Over Blue Sky, which of course Horn Here's a Who, another Dr. Seuss classic, which also has Jim Carrey in it. Also has Steve Carell for the first time and everything. Pretty good movie. You should really see it. Of course, we have the infamous Shark Tales. And the reason why I have this in the first place is because of, I just say my younger siblings wanted to see it, and that shows you a lot why I have it and everything. So, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Here we have Megamind before it became an awful TV series, as we all know. Let's not mention that right now, but pretty good movie right here. We have the Kung Fu Panda trilogy. I meant to get the fourth one soon, but I probably will. Probably will soon. I haven't seen it yet, but I will soon. Yeah, the first two, 1 and 3. The third one's not that bad, despite what people say, but it's not that bad. Here we have Shrek, the Ultimate Collection and everything. It's pretty good. Has 1, 2, 3, 4 Puss in Boots. Has that weird musical. A lot of shorts and everything. Has 5 TV episodes from that movie, from that TV show nobody remembers. Pretty good. It's on Blu Ray. If you want it without the movies, I think they already have a collection of just the movies and everything. If you just want to get the movies instead and everything. So yeah, there's that. And here we go. We're going to be moving for a bit to get my shadow out of the way. Here we have just another set of horror movies. There's more horror movies back here. And as you can see, one of them being, of course, Craven Cronenberg's The Fly. One of the great film remakes in some of all time. Some people forget it's a remake, so it's why bothering. And surprisingly, Mel Brooks actually helped make this one, and I'm not kidding. Like, really look it up. He really was involved with, especially the studio was involved in making that film. Here we have a Stephen King movie, which is John Carpenter's Christine. I have the DVD. I meant to get the Blu Ray, but they didn't put that many bonus features in the Blu Ray, so it's pretty much the same. And here we have The Dead Zone, made by Cronenberg. Pretty good one. You should also watch it too because it's pretty entertaining. It's pretty good. You'll like it and everything. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good movie. I recommend reading the books of these too because it's just entertaining, but that all depends on what you think of it. Here we have 1408, the most movie with the most endings, and as the director, Michael Hafstrom, couldn't decide which is which. I mean, yeah, sure, he does have his director's cut, but some of us don't like it. I prefer the theatrical version right here. As you can tell, it says Blockbuster exclusive, which shows you how old this DVD is. And even I know what Blockbuster is because I've been to a Blockbuster before. But I was like 6 years old when I remember being in actually 8 when I was in one. By that time, I got smart enough to know what a Blockbuster was. They shut down. At the time, and of course, here we have another Stanley Kubrick movie, which is also kind of Stephen King-ish, but really depends on what you think about it. Which is, of course, The Shining. I have it on Steelbook, and everything looks cool. Not that much bonus features, but then again, his movies never had a lot of bonus features. Some of them, anyway. Pretty good. Good art right here. Has some good background art from the movie still. Some art, especially from the back right here. Pretty good movie. I don't know, seeing the documentary and knowing how Kubrick is like makes me feel bad for Shelley Duvall and Nicholson and even Scatman Crothers for how they were treated in this film. Very, 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 very bad. Here we have the sequel to this movie, and arguably to the book of the same name. Here we have Dr. Sleep, Stephen King's Dr. Sleep, made by the famous director Mike Flanagan. Pretty good Stephen King director. He's obviously a fan when he made this. And he was obviously a big fan of Stanley Kubrick's, even though Stephen King wasn't a fan, but he was. He wanted to put the two together and make one good film. I recommend you see him because not many people saw it during opening day. In fact, when my sister and I saw it on opening day, there was barely anybody in that theaters. And here we have a Stephen King TV show I'm putting here, which is, of course, 11/22/63. Now, regardless of what you think of J.J. Abrams and even James Franco, this is a pretty good must-watch for you to see. It's a good must-watch. You should really see it. And here we have John Carpenter's The Thing. Pretty good body horror movie. Pretty good science fiction movie on its own. Here we have the Sam Raimi Evil Dead movies, and also, of course, have the TV show Ash vs. Evil Dead. We have the second one, which is the 25th anniversary collection, which I recommend you getting because it has the most bonus features, and it's a really good movie that they put the Blu Ray. Here we have Army of Darkness from Scream Factory. Some people have quarrels with this book, have quarrels with this set because only the 4K one was only sent to the theatrical cut and not the other cuts. Personally, I don't mind it because I don't have 4K. I only got it because of the Blu-ray, because they have the Blu-ray versions of the theatrical, director's cut, even in the international cut, which is the only reason why I bought it anyway. As you can see, it looks cool as the 4K, but then here is the cool poster from the first movie, and this is cool artwork here, and so is this one. The international / television cut's pretty good. I haven't watched all of them. I've only seen the theatrical cut, in my opinion. I don't hate the director's cut, but it's not canon to the other Evil Dead, which is this one, the Ash vs. Evil Dead. Word to the wise, if you're going to plan to get it, I recommend you probably getting the DVD versions and have them separately, because this thing was $70 when I bought this on Blu-ray. I'm not kidding, $70. And that's not worth it. That's why I still have it with me on me, because it was worth $70, and I know if I sell it back, I'm not going to get my money's worth out of that, which is kind of dumb. And here we have another Abraham looking, the one I told you about from 2012, which is, of course, Vampire Hunter. Whether or not you like it is up to you, because the tone, it really is all over the place. It never knows when to be a comedy, and it never knows when to be a horror movie, and it never knows when to be biographical sometimes. But that's all up to you if you like it or not. But personally, I like the movie. I forget that Tim Burton helped produce it and everything, but the reason why it's so good, because the screenplay was made by the guy who actually wrote the book, which I also have right here, which I'll also show from the book of the same name. As you can see right here, looks pretty good. Have it right here. Of course, I have this in the back and everything. Looks cool. Yeah, the guy who made this book made the screenplay of this, and he's one of the further proofs that some book writers can make good screenplays if given proper direction and learn. The new stack here has some set of comedy movies, most of them Mel Brooks. I have Young Frankenstein, a classic, silent movie. Some people don't like that, but I like it because it reminded me a lot of the Three Stooges, Marx Brothers type of comedy, especially when they were silent. Well, the Three Stooges wasn't silent, but it still had the slapstick humor of them. High Anxiety, which is the Alfred Hitchcock parody. Here we have History of the World Part 1. Don't watch the sequel, trust me. You're better off watching this one than the sequel. That's on Hulu right now. Here's, of course, Spaceballs, of his famous out of all the movies. Mainly because of the way how Star Wars is right now. People like me love Spaceballs. This is the Your Helmet is So Big edition. Has more special features. And I think you can open it. Has, of course, stickers. Pretty good. Has, of course, more photos from the set and everything. But you gotta like this set and everything. As you can see, it says the 25th anniversary edition, which is what it really is. But what makes it a different edition than the 25th one is, like I said, it had the stickers and the postcards. Here we have another underrated comedy, which of course Robin Hood Men in Tights with the famous Carl Eloise. I forgot his name. Has the famous him who's actually British and everything. Sorry about that. Pretty good comedy movie, especially for a Robin Hood movie. Pretty good. Here we have two Weird Al CDs. I have a big Weird Al fan and everything. His first movie, UHF, ever made. His only movie ever made. Pretty good one. Has behind the scenes footage and everything, special features. You'll probably like it, especially when it has the same comedy as the Abraham Zuckers, and also Mel Brooks too, so you'll like it. Here we have his video collection, which is just his music videos all rolled into one at the time, which was at the time in 2003. This is during when his Poodle Hat album came out, so it's not really all his collections, but it's still his collection so far. Pretty good. Pretty good. If you're a Weird Al fan, you'll like the music video collection, especially if one day YouTube internet goes down. You'll like it. You'll like it. Here we have another collection. This is mostly Pixar stuff, as you can see. Have the original Toy Story, Finding Nemo, the two Incredibles movies. I like the first one more than the second one because we all know what happened with the second one and its production that happened behind it, really. We had the Ratatouille movie, which I like. You know, Brad Pitt can do no wrong. Cars. Yeah, some people have a difference with Cars, but I kind of like the first one more than the second one, which I don't have, just so you know. We have Cars 3, which is, like I said, better than Cars 2. Wall-E, the best. Up is also the best. We have, of course, Bolt, which is made just by Disney themselves. Pretty good for their own movie and everything. Miley Cyrus, John Travolta, pretty good movie. I guess you could call it the Tropic Thunder movie at the time, especially for little kids. But that's only if you look at it that way. But, you know, that requires further analysis, but not from me. Here we have the first two Sonic movies. I'm waiting for the third one to come out. It's going to be very epic. I love the first one. I haven't seen the second one, believe it or not in theaters, but I plan on seeing it right now after this. Probably liking it. Here we have G-Force. I don't know whether you're liking it or not, but it was a film I liked growing up as a kid because it showed a lot on Disney, but especially when they had it on the Disney Channel. It's pretty good for what it is. Here we have the Three Stooges, also made by the Farley brothers. This was made back in 2012, made by actors who tried being Stooges impersonators, which I think is pretty good. Some people don't like it, but I think it's pretty good if you just look at it as a bunch of impersonators playing the Stooges, not just them, which is fine. Here we have the first Die With Me Kid. I used to have the other two, but I had to get rid of it because they were DVDs, and I'm planning to get the Blu Rays by itself because this one is the cheesiest edition. It has a lot of bonus features. Even it has this awesome cover right here from Rowley's Journal, which is cute and cool at the same time. So yeah, I think that's it, guys. I'm sorry if I sped running it for a bit, but I'm almost running out of memory for the disc. But you know, I wanted to show you all of it. The reason why I didn't give much reviews on the other ones because, like I said, there's not much opinions I can give you on the comedies because I like them because they're comedic. As for the Disney films, I like them because they're adult, but at the same time, they can be for children. That's why I like it too. And everything, it's pretty cool. You'll probably like them too if you get them your own way from your own time. But here's a few Q&A for me. The first one is that the fact that if you're wondering why my name is Game Dude, even though I don't sound like him, because I'm just trying to bring that whole Game Dude thing back. I'm not gonna do the whole angry reviewer thing, all that stuff, but I'm gonna plan to do my own thing when I make game reviews eventually. I just wanted to show you my collection and everything at first. Show you I'm a big fan of movies and games all alike, and I'm not trying to bank or really make money out of it. If I don't make money on it, that's fine. That's whatever. But as for you wondering if Alexander can technically sue me, I don't think so. But even if they did, he technically be the Canadian force will be authorities will probably be after him because he still has that whole trespassing thing that was never settled. It's something the Canadian authorities don't like you talking about, so that much anyway. So even if he did try to sue me, he would have to go back to Canada to do it, and even then he would still have the trial to do after. So I think I'm gonna be fine. But even if I do, I'll just edit these videos to have, instead of saying Game Dude, my other account name, which you'll probably see in the comments what it's named, which is, you know, another Alexander reference if you like it. So yeah, that's my whole DVD collection, all of it. Next thing, I'll probably show you my books and everything. And it's probably gonna be shorter because I don't have a lot of books. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. Have a good day, and you know, game on.